When you talk about diamonds, one name synonymously comes to my mind: De Beers. A legacy that started in 1888. Now, De Beers not only told us about diamonds, but it shaped the way the world thinks about them. मुझे अभी भी याद है that beautiful line, yeah, a diamond is forever. And that's what I tell my wife also. And she thinks, what a charming husband I've got. Thanks to De Beers, it happened. But I love the way they have shown an immense commitment and dedication to sustainability and being responsible for it. And I've got a lady who I admire so much from the bottom of my heart, Toranj Mehta. How are you? You're obviously the Vice President Marketing of De Beers India, but we met each other at a couple of events. And I love the way you're involved with your brand and how you feel about it as well. You're doing good.
Yes, I'm very well. Thank you.
Thank you for
thanks
coming.
for having me on your show. It's indeed an honor to be here.
Likewise, heard so much about you. We met, so now we're going to be chatting as well.
Yes.
First things first, okay? Basics. I'm hearing a lot about lab grown diamonds. And there's this conversation on social media, wherever you go: natural diamonds, lab grown diamonds, this confusion. People are trying to figure out what really works out for them. So these people who are watching right now, they're like my family. ये मेरे viewers, मेरे family है. I want you to explain the difference to us.
Natural diamonds and lab grown are two very different products. One is a miracle of nature, and in my personal opinion, one is machine made. Right? So when you're talking about a miracle of nature, there is so many things that have to come together for one diamond to be made. And these diamonds are billion to 3 billion years old. For example, human beings on planet Earth are 500,000, 5 lakh years old. Dinosaurs were 5 million or 50 lakh years old ago, rather. Diamonds are 300 crores years old. So you see the perspective that when you're touching a natural diamond, that you're touching a piece of Earth's history itself. So when you're thinking about natural diamonds, it's something, it's like a miracle of nature that has survived right since the time Earth began. So that's one very critical difference between natural diamonds and lab grown products. Lab grown is like an LED TV. You put it in the factory and it can be made. Yeah, so it's mass produced. So the rarity that comes with a natural diamond is no longer exists with a lab grown product. It is like a copy, in my personal opinion.
So you're trying to say, just say nowadays people use this terminology like OG.
Yes.
So natural diamond is like the OG, है ना?
Yes, obviously it is the OG.
है ना?
Of course.
No holds barred. So there's time, rarity, and origin. Now, how do you bring out all these elements in De Beers' storytelling?
So when you talk about diamonds, it's not only about De Beers' storytelling. It's a very emotional feeling people have towards diamonds. Diamonds are a symbol of commitment. They're a symbol of achievement. They're a symbol of personal highs that people have had. And all of this is all very emotional. It is not something that, we have sort of ingrained into people. This has existed ever since the time of the Maharajas. Diamonds were always a symbol of royalty. If you look at Indian history and Indian heritage, diamonds were always a symbol of royalty. The Maharajas were the ones who wore it. In fact, De Beers are the ones who have actually made it more accessible to the general population. So when we talk about emotion, commitment, marker of personal achievement, a diamond says so much without saying anything at all. So that's how a diamond is.
Look, this generation, the Gen Zs, millennials, it matters. Authenticity, emotional connect. people are now asking questions. Being real as a human being real in what you wear, all matters to people now.
Yes,
Especially if COVID times, we've all been talking about being true to oneself.
true.
Whether it's ourselves, whether it's our friends, whether what we wear, authenticity,
That's right.
emotional connect. How does De Beers bring all that?
Authenticity, as in when you're looking at natural diamond, in terms of authenticity, De Beers ensures that every natural diamond that comes from De Beers has a clear tracking towards its source. So there is no question of it being anything else but a De Beers diamond. In terms of emotional connect, when you're gifting, say, like you mentioned, whilst we were chatting previously, you gifted your wife a diamond. Think about the emotional connect when you're giving her something which is mass produced, and or the emotional connect when you give her something that is really rare, really precious. It's something that earth itself has formed for you. There is a huge difference. So that's where authenticity comes through. Another thing that I would like to bring across is every diamond that comes from De Beers has or every natural diamond, almost every natural diamond that comes through in the industry from reputed players has a certification saying that it is certified from a particular source. There is a very clear Kimberley process which has been put in place to ensure that all the diamonds that come from reputed players are conflict free. So when you talk about authenticity, talk about responsible sourcing, all of this matters. So there is a lot that De Beers does in the supply chain to ensure that everything that reaches the consumer has the stamp and the assurance that De Beers is taking care of the communities that are making these diamonds, or the communities where the diamonds are being recovered whilst they are reaching to the customer.
So there are lines being blurred, and that's for sure. I can sense it as well. Lab grown diamonds, natural diamonds. How do you educate the Indian audiences, which are so diverse? And of course, when it comes to consumer education in your marketing processes, how do you align that?
So, so our objective is actually to ensure that a consumer understands what they are buying into. So there are a few myths that are present that we would like to ensure that consumers are aware. So every consumer has their own need, requirement, choice of what they want to really buy, and they have the right, and they should be able to choose what they want, but they should also be clear about what they are getting. So when you're talking about lines are being blurred, in things like natural diamonds and lab grown diamonds are the same. In my opinion, that's not true. Natural diamonds can and lab grown diamonds can be easily differentiated by a machine. So De Beers has several proprietary instruments where you can put in a diamond and it will 100% of the time tell you whether it is lab grown or not. So there is clearly a difference in the two products. Also, when you say things are the same, think about the ice or the snow on the Alps and the ice in your refrigerator. They are the same, but there is a difference. One is natural, one is your filter water frozen.
I love this example, yeah.
So you see, so you have to understand what the characteristics of each of these products is. Another thing that people think about is sustainability. I've been with De Beers for 13 years, and I'm very proud to be in a company that does so much for the people that and the countries that the diamonds are recovered from. It makes such a huge impact on the GDP of that country, on the growth of that country, on the whole infrastructure. So Jwaneng mine, for example, is one of the biggest mines that produces diamonds. In the past, it was an arid area. Once De Beers went there, because of that one mine, infrastructure had to develop. So roads were developed. Because people were working there and their families came there, schools had to be developed. Hospitals had to be developed. Regular markets had to be developed. Now it is a thriving town. So you see how one mine can create so much development around that whole area. So that's what De Beers does in the countries that it has mines in, or we have mines in.
So, a lot of conversations happen, including on my dinner table, where my mother's there, my grandmom's there, my wife's there, and diamond conversations start. And a major factor between the entire Kannan family is price, cost. And it happens in every household and across people. Now, how do you let one person know that beyond the cost, there's emotion, there's legacy, there's symbolism of natural diamonds?
So let's take art for example. What is the cost, basic cost of art? The cost of the canvas, the cost of the paint, and the paintbrush. But it's the artist that actually makes the piece of art worth the millions it is. The same thing it is with diamonds. So when you're looking at a natural diamond, it is not about cost. It is about the fact that it is precious, it's come out from Mother Earth, it's a miracle of nature. And that's the way you look at it. I mean, even if you look at, say, luxury products, you get first copy. It had to like 1/3 the cost. You still get first copy at 1/3 the cost, half the cost.
And sometimes you go to Bandra Link Road, one extra alphabet also comes to those products and things, right?
And then you get the original. So, and the original, you have to pay the price for the original. Like you said, the OG, you have to pay that price. If you want the original, you have to pay that price for it. So that's the difference.
They say, because I'm a Bollywood buff, like you have a superstar.
Yeah, you have the duplicate.
And you have the one who's doing the mimicry. जो mimicry करता है तो mimicry करता है. I'm sure must be doing good mimicry, but
वही है.
वही है ना, है ना? You will always champion the cause of building forever.
Yes.
And that word forever leaves a huge, huge impact. What does these two words mean to you?
Building Forever, in fact, is a very large program that we have as part of the De Beers group. And under it, we have several pillars. So one is on climate and how we manage climate change, how we impact reduction in that, like carbon neutrality. Our objective is to get to being a carbon neutral company by 2030. So that's what we are working towards. Second is livelihoods, how we integrate women, differently abled people, all into the ecosystem of De Beers Group. In fact, a few years ago, there was a clear mandate that even in the senior management, there has to be a 50% representation of women. And I'm happy to say now there is. In fact, there is a 60-40 ratio now. So there is a clear move towards integrating differently able and diverse people into the ecosystem. Plus, there is the third one, which is nature. If you look at what De Beers does, there is a huge amount of conservation. So we are working with National Geographic on the restoration or the conservation of the Okavango Delta, which is a life source for Botswana. We are working on translocation of elephants from South Africa to Mozambique, because elephants there have become extinct because of the civil war. So there is a lot that De Beers does as conservation to help keep the natural environment and restore it. So once a mine becomes non-productive, in fact it is again restored and it is again reforested. So there are things that we do in such a in such a huge scale to ensure that we are sustainable, we help leave a positive impact even after the last diamond is mined. So there is a lot that goes under the Building Forever program.
In fact, talking about, women empowerment, and you were talking about the percentage, 60 to 40. I see a lot of women from your team here as well, and I feel so good about that.
Yes,
It's so amazing when they walk in together, have each other's back.
it's
Makes us feel
true.
proud as
Yes,
well. Yeah.
yes, and it is, and we know that the moment there is an equal distribution of male, female, and diverse communities, the amount of new thinking, new ideas, new stuff that comes out, innovations that come out are far superior. In fact, there are many studies which show profitability of companies have increased because of this diverse culture.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's something I'm going to write in my notebook, because this is the first time I've heard this, and it's
Yes,
so beautiful to
yes.
hear that as well.
Yeah.
We Indians are emotional people, and we're very proud of the fact that we are very, very emotional.
Yes.
I am, you are. We get attached to things
Yes.
which matter to us, and how? Especially jewelry.
It is
You know,
part of
it's
a
like-
culture.
Absolutely, yeah. When I remember getting married, again, I'll bring my wife in, and her mother ends up saying, "This is what I wore in my wedding, and I'm giving it to you." You get goosebumps, you get emotional.
It's legacy.
It's
It's
legacy,
a sentimental and emotional connection to your past, to your ancestors, to your history, which after you're gone, there is nothing. These are the things that stay. These are the
And
connections you
actually
build.
tell your children, saying, "You know what, this is what I wore at my wedding, this jewelry. Your grandmother had worn it, and maybe your great great grandmother
Yes.
as well." So it's part of our history. And sometimes I see other family members talking about it, I get see them getting teary eyed. Of course, that's related to our Indian culture, our values. Now, you have a global storytelling process which is in place. How do you cater that to our Indian cultural values?
So I'll tell you, India, as you said, is a very different culture, and especially when it comes to jewelry. The kind of jewelry, the kind of design heritage, the ornamentation that India has is unmatched. Think right from the toe till your head, there is a piece of jewelry for every part of your body. So it's really I mean, the kind of history and heritage India has is really something I am very proud of. And what we work here in India towards is to ensure that whatever we create works for the contemporary mindset mixed with the tradition that India has. So it's not about doing away with the tradition, but keeping up with the times. So, for example, even with the campaigns that we are launching now, we are looking at bracelets. Now, bracelets as a product type, we have huge amounts like bangles, tennis bracelets, cord bracelets, chain bracelets, name it, you have it. But building meaning into those products is something that De Beers does here in India. So we are looking at modern day rituals. So whilst you may have some kind of ritual that would have been present in the past between mother and daughter, this currently relationships between friends are really strong. And for us to be able to build on that is something that we identified, and we created the Bestie Bracelet, which is a pair of bracelets which each friend can wear to commemorate their relationship.
Yeah, it's like in college day, you have this friendship day that happens,
Yes,
college day that
yes.
happens, people give each other bands.
Bands.
We used to tie it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we used to carry it home saying, "So many bands I've got." It's exactly like that. No?
Exactly. And and also, if you will look at it, it's not only friends during college or friends during school that really matter. As you grow older, these are the same friends that stay with you throughout your life, and unfortunately they are very underrated. So the whole amount of value they add to your life is never really spoken about or celebrated. And that's what we said, that this is something that exists in our culture and we just don't talk about it. And that's how we built up this campaign, which is about the Bestie Bracelet.
So this bestie bracelet is on my to-do list right away.
Yes.
Because for my daughters it matters a lot, and we talk, we have conversations saying, you're my bestie, you might be my daughter, but you're bestie, so I know what to
Yes.
gift them on their
Of
birthdays as
course, you
well.
must.
Henna?
Yes, it is. I mean, and it's such a nice reminder to know that you have one person in the world who really thinks the world of you.
Henna? And these things do matter, yeah.
Yes, yes, it does.
Yeah, maybe we'll do the bestie. जो होता है ना,
Yeah,
पहले we used to do fist pumps and all. We can
they
do
do
the
the bestie bump
bestie
like
bump and all.
that. Yeah.
Luxury. Definitions have changed over the years. What could have been luxury for me may not be luxury for the present generation and people around in this day and age. Uh, Before, people thought it was excess. Now people talk about purpose, authenticity. How would you define modern luxury when it comes to jewelry?
So, luxury, you're right, has changed. It is not only about status, it is not only about showing how rich you are, it's also about what really matters to you as luxury. So, when we are looking at it, especially in diamonds, they are a highly aspirational gemstone to be having. And what we really are looking at, and what is also happening overall in the industry, not only with reviewers but overall in the industry, is that there is a enough amount of accessibility for a consumer to buy. So, for example, for a person who wants to enter into this whole luxurious life of diamonds, or has the dream to come into the life of diamonds, and women love diamonds. I mean, when we do some of our consumer research, the moment we say that we are going to talk about diamonds today, the way they start talking, it's really something else. So when women want to enter into the world of diamonds, it's not so difficult for them now, thanks to the number of companies that have come in who are innovating to ensure that every person has the access to enter the luxurious world of diamonds. So it's not difficult for women to enter into the luxurious world of natural diamonds. The other bit is authenticity. Now, there are many ways in which you can generally get authentic natural diamonds, and you get certification with that. So, to ensure that you're actually buying into real diamonds, there are many labs like the De Beers Institute of Diamonds where you can actually be assured that the diamond that you are getting is genuine, natural, and original. So, when you talk about authenticity, there are very many layers to it. So, one is of course buying the original, then buying it for someone that you love and wanting to gift it. And that's where you really need to be clear about what you really want to pass on as a legacy that you mentioned. Like how you said that from generations onwards, you wouldn't want to give something to your near and dear ones which loses value in a couple of months. So it's something that you really need to think about when you're making such valuable purchases for emotional reasons. So I think these are the two areas that we work towards to ensure that consumers who want to enter into the world of luxury actually get what they want.
Another thing which people really want to understand and get what they want is feeling a human connect to whatever they buy, whatever they are involved with. Like for me, sometimes brands should feel like human beings.
Yes.
That's when I start feeling towards it. Coming to my next thought process, which is humanizing natural diamonds, which is what your campaigns have done, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
But was there a tough process to change this perception that diamonds are mere gemstones to saying, hey, they're not mere gemstones. It's who you are. It's what you believe in. It's your self-expressions.
Yes. So I'm very glad you brought that up, because when you're talking about diamonds, as I mentioned, they are not about just being a gemstone. There is a lot of emotional value that you bring into it. For example, our previous campaign that we ran, which was between a father and daughter, where father is actually giving agency to the daughter to mark her own independence. So when daughter finishes school, is about to enter college, she starts looking at ways in which she can prove her own independence. And one of the ways in which she does that is to, get her ears pierced. Because the first time that she pierces her ears, she has no choice. But the second time is out of choice that she does. And that's when, father really supports her in sort of saying, okay, take that step towards your independence. And that is the campaign that we rolled out, where it is not about the diamond. It is about the fact that a father from afar also understands what his daughter goes through and supports her in that journey. So that's something that we rolled out earlier in the year. So in that sense, there are many relationships, and of course, the fact that a diamond is forever is the line that really embodies commitment, embodies feelings that this memory is going to last forever in my life and beyond, is something that is iconic, and I'm very happy to be a part of that iconic brand.
Can I tell you very honestly before you continue? Whenever you say this line, "A diamond is forever," like they tell me, a lot of my friends, family, "Oh, तुम बहुत senti हो यार." I get very senti with that. I get very senti about that line.
It is a sentimental line. Can you imagine the feeling you get when, I'm sure you've gifted your wife diamonds, and
Yes, I have. My mother too.
Yes, and it women. I mean, it's just something that you treasure for your life, and it is because it is so precious and valuable. It's not about just the sparkle, just the brilliance, just the shine. It is because someone so dear to you has made the effort and brought you something that you really treasure. So that's the bit on humanizing the brand. In fact, this is not something that we dreamt up. In fact, the diamond engagement ring was first given in 1477 by Archduke of Austria to Mary of Burgundy, and this was the first recorded instance of an engagement ring. In fact, even in the USA, before we started the whole "Diamond is Forever" campaign, there was a 10% of the 10% of the people were actually gifting each other diamond engagement rings, and that's how we learned from consumers and brought out a campaign. Marketing is all about that, understanding what consumers are doing and then bringing it out to them. So that's how the diamond engagement ring campaigns really started. And when you say that your love is going to last forever, you have complete intentions of spending your life together, then a diamond is forever is not a sentimental line. It is something that holds tremendous amount of weight.
I consume so much of social media content, I'm sure so do you, and it keeps coming on my feed. So I get these myths and statements about natural diamonds, then I suddenly get statements about lab grown diamonds. Then it hits me on my face because at times we start believing things which we should not believe, and sometimes we don't believe things which we should believe. So, what are those misconceptions that you yourself see about or hear about natural diamonds when you compare it to lab grown diamonds? And I want you to really be candid and debunk it.
So there are two major misconceptions. I have referenced the one saying that they are the same, there is no difference. Clearly, there is a difference. Second is that natural diamonds are not sustainable. We need to understand what sustainability is, right? So, especially with De Beers, we have an annual sustainability report that is audited by a third party which comes out, which tells us how sustainable we are and what is the progress against our targets. Second is when you talk about products, which are like your consumer electronics, you think there are no mined elements being put in that? So, if you talk about energy, the amount of pressure that is needed to create a diamond is equivalent to putting the Eiffel Tower on the palm of your hand upside down. How are you creating that pressure? Where is that energy coming from? When you're looking at lab grown diamonds and you're looking at creating that kind of pressure, where is that energy coming from? So we have to really look at whether it is being powered by renewable sources, whether it's being powered by coal and sources which are not renewable, because in India 74% of the energy generated is through coal. So we have to be very clear about, when we talk about sustainability, what is the actual sustainability that is present and isn't present. So as consumers, we have to ask these questions, because then only do you understand clearly about what is really doing good uh, for the consumer, or overall for mankind, or what is not really helping.
So, sustainability, obviously, we've been discussing this.
Yes.
So, there's authenticity in sustainability.
Yes.
But how do you handle those challenges to ensure that the standards are really met?
We have in De Beers a very clear process called the BPP principles, which are even more stringent than the government or the UN mandated Kimberley process, to ensure that every diamond that De Beers mines is responsibly sourced. We have innovative blockchain technology called Tracer, in which De Beers diamonds go into, and you can trace them right back to the origin and ensure that you know exactly where your diamond is coming from. So there is a lot of work that is done to ensure responsible sourcing of De Beers diamonds. Second bit is they are all conflict free. There's this whole concept of blood diamond. Now, blood diamond, let me explain what blood diamonds mean. Blood diamonds were the kind of used to uh, finance civil war in Africa.
There have been films made on that as well.
Yes, yes. But those civil wars have concluded and have been over since 1990, 2000. So the concept of blood diamond as of now is quite irrelevant, right? So when we talk about uh, natural diamonds, 95% of the natural diamonds go through the Kimberley process, and they are definitely certified as conflict free. So, all reputed mining companies are part of this Kimberley process. So, there is a lot that works in the supply chain to ensure responsible sourcing of natural diamonds.
So, of course, you're not dominating the diamond market, but there is a huge amount of conversation out there about the supply control, about the monopoly that may come along with it, right? How would you address that?
So, we don't dominate the diamond industry per se. We are leaders, yes, but we have 25% share in terms of volume, and 33%, about 33% share in terms of value. Now, in any business, if you can dominate an industry with these kind of market shares, I want to be in that business. Because if we hold back supply, manage pricing, we have equal number of competitors who will come in and take that. We are not the only producers of diamonds, or not the only mining company that actually produces diamonds. So, these are all market dynamics that play. In fact, in 2022, uh, this was one of the best years for natural diamonds, and we did not have enough supply to be able to fulfill the demand that was there, because eventually natural diamonds are a finite resource. After beyond a point, they are going to be over, as in there will be no more diamonds left. So the highest recovery rate that we had was in around 2007, 2008. After that, the recovery that is coming out of the mines is lower and lower in terms of carats. In fact, there in Australia there was an Argyle mine which was producing pink diamonds. Now there are no more pink diamonds remaining from that mine. So pink diamonds are now almost uh, over. So so that's the kind of rarity, finiteness that is there. So it makes a lot of difference when you are talking about market share, when you're talking about business dynamics. Being able to, how can you control? You can't, because there is enough competition in the market for us to be completely priced out or supplied out if we try to do what everyone claims that we do. It's not possible.
So social media is obviously reshaping how luxury marketing is being done. But the dynamic shift in who your consumers are, how are they behaving, and especially the young diamond consumers. They're no holds barred, they know what they want, and you can't gaslight them. How do you manage to do that, keeping their interest in mind?
So, consumers, especially the younger ones, really don't want to be told what is right and what is wrong. They understand that very clearly. What we really need, what our objective is to basically help them understand the differences. So, for example, we look at influencers who really matter in terms of who are authentic when they talk about stuff. We've actually taken a few influencers and celebrities to London to let them go through a diamond master class where they really understand what natural diamonds really mean, what value they hold, what preciousness they have. And then we've asked them to come up with their own way of talking about it if they think it is worth it. The next other thing that we've looked at is also in IPL we worked with the female anchors there, and we just accessorized them, because and the kind of excitement they had with just wearing diamonds, it was crazy. So in that sense, we know that there are certain ways in which traditional media works, there are certain ways in which social media works, and basically we have to reach consumers in an authentic way in which they understand what we want to say in a way that they want to hear it, and that's what we do.
Okay, so there is heritage, there are memories, Indian culture, values, they all exist. But you have to be very relevant as well, changing with the times. So is it very difficult to balance heritage with innovations in design and marketing so that you're actually relevant across the board, across different time spans and age groups?
No, not really, because once you understand what a consumer is looking for, it's quite simple to bring in heritage and design together. For example, our brand Forever Mark, which we recently relaunched, diamond jewelry, we have our own take on very traditional jewelry products like the Mangal Sutra, the nose pin, the bangle. So, or even the big, large necklaces. So, it is the Forever Mark take and the Forever Mark contemporary design take on these traditional products. And that really work with consumers now because they want something that works for them in their current avatar. So, that's something that we look at when we are doing innovation or when we are doing designing. Also, when you're looking at consumers now, they're looking for versatility in their jewelry. They're looking for designs that work from morning to night, designs that work when they're going to office, and designs that similarly work when they're going to party. And that's the kind of designing thought that we bring into the brand, which is Forever Mark. So that's where we really look at design innovation when it comes to jewelry and heritage.
So there's diamond certification,
Yes.
quality assurance, but
Yes.
they can be very, very complicated, right?
Right.
So, say a person like me, how would you educate me to choose genuine natural diamonds?
So, one of the key things that you really need to keep in mind is when you're buying diamonds, you check on the certification. First is you go to reputed jewelers, say like Tanishq, like Malabar Gold, like Kalyan. These are really reputed jewelers, and in that you will always get certification which will ensure that the diamonds that you're getting are genuine, natural, authentic. In fact, Tanishq has also started diamond expertise zones in their store where you can actually check the diamonds if you want. They're in partnership with us. They have the synth detect machinery there where you can actually check the diamond that you're getting is genuine and is natural. So they do a lot of stuff on diamond education. We also have partnered with GJPC to create the Indra program, which is the Indian Natural Diamond Retailer Alliance, which also works towards education of retailers to ensure that they are able to explain to consumers what they are selling, how genuine the diamonds are, etc. And of course, we have our own Institute of Diamonds in Surat, which certifies only natural diamonds. So, when it is certified by the Institute of Diamonds in Surat, you are assured that you are getting a genuine product.
It's always important to give back as human beings, as brands. We can't just rake it in. It's always about, like I say,
Yes.
karma or doing things for people. What are your social responsibilities?
So we have, like we mentioned, we have this program called Building Forever. So we look at climate, nature, livelihoods, and all of that is underpinned by provenance. So our objective in that is to actually ensure that we leave a positive impact in the community even after the last diamond has been mined. For example, there are programs that we hold which ensure women get into STEM learning because that helps build a pipeline for educated women to get into the industry in the future. We run schools, we run hospitals, which are all in partnership with the government there. So there are many things that we do in the diamond producing communities to ensure that there is a clear and direct impact that happens in the country which has the mines.
With lab grown diamonds gaining popularity, obviously a lot of education is being given so that people exactly know the difference. All right.
Yes.
But tell me, how is it important and how do you guys try and keep your relevancy going by the minute?
Um, Let me reframe your question. So there is growing popularity in lab grown diamonds, but they are relevant in my opinion because natural diamonds exist. So in terms of relevance, if there were no natural diamonds, then there would be no relevance of lab grown diamonds, in my personal opinion. This is my personal opinion. So, if we were to look at it, the estimated market size for natural diamonds by 2034 is going to be about 23 billion. So, there is enough and more demand to be had in India. So, it is not only about one against the other, there is enough for everyone. Also, in terms of lab grown diamonds, whilst jewelry or lab grown diamond products are getting more popularity, there is a huge market for industrial use of lab grown diamonds, especially in AI, especially in microchips. So there are things that lab grown diamonds can do because of the availability, because of the capability of being able to produce endlessly, that can be used in industrial areas, which because of the finiteness of natural diamonds, you can't. So, those are the areas which actually have much higher potential than, say, the gemstone area.
A diamond is forever, and then there are these conversations about engagement ring, it's going to cost 3 months of your salary. These kind of statements spark off debates online, conversations in person, talking about consumer pressure. Does that affect the dynamics when it comes to lab grown diamonds coexisting with natural diamonds?
So let me give you a background on this 3 month salary, because even I have seen it online many
Yes.
times. And so, as I mentioned, the diamond engagement ring existed before De Beers actually started advertising about the diamond engagement ring. Now, consumers at that point of time were quite, this was in America, were quite confused about how much they should spend on buying an engagement ring. So, so there were a lot of questions that used to come up to the jewelers selling the rings. That how much should I spend on it? So we thought of a way in which we could communicate that, which would help them get a rule of thumb, and therefore we said 3 months salary. Now that was way back in 1947, 60, 70s. So now it doesn't hold true, because now there is a, as I said, the kind of innovations our Indian jewelry industry has made with natural diamonds. There is a lot of availability, right from the smallest possible price to the highest price. It really depends on what you want to buy. My only takeaway here is that if the love is real, if the person is genuine, then you buy a real diamond. That's what you really need to look at. That's all. Size doesn't really matter about. It's just about the love and the authenticity or the genuineness of that love that should be portrayed with a real diamond.
So if love is real, diamond has to be real.
Yeah, so it is love so natural, only a natural diamond will do.
So you have हीरा है सदा के लिए, no?
Yes, that's right.
Now,
That's,
if, for example, my friends are watching, I would like to also get onto various platforms to figure out what I really want to buy, purchase, get a lot of knowledge. Where can I do that?
so we have a website called diamondisforever.com, which gives you a very easy and not boring explanation of what natural diamonds are, how they are different, etc. So you can definitely go there. There's also a store locator there where you can find natural diamond retailers. We also have an Instagram handle, which is Heera Hai Sada Ke Liye, in which you will see whatever the latest is trending in diamonds. So in terms of design, in terms of stuff that is happening around diamonds, you'll be able to see that there.
Before we say tata, bye bye, we mentioned about emotions. You've been with De Beers for 13 years.
Yes.
What is the most emotional moment that you recollect, which truly touched your heart and maybe got you senti emotional as well? Please share that.
Yeah. Actually, there have been so many emotional moments.
I can
Like
imagine.
when you are standing in the store and you see people coming in, there's always so much excitement about buying diamonds, and there's so much emotional connection that people have towards diamonds that it's really crazy. But one of the most recent examples that happened, or one of the experiences, we launched the second piercing campaign, which was the love between the father and the daughter. And then we realized a consumer reached out to us saying that he really liked the campaign so much that both of them went to the store, got their ears pierced, so that both the father and daughter have equal amount of pain, equal amount of pressure, equal amount of fear, and both got their ears pierced and got earrings for themselves. So, I mean, that was such a cute story, as in the father himself pierced his ear and his daughter. So, I think there is, there are real life sometimes really amazes you compared to fictional life. So it's
What life lessons now? Like I'm
Yeah.
actually thinking that maybe I should do the same with Adhira and Saisha. Adhira's 10 years old, Saisha's going to be 7.
Wow.
So when they decide on their own to get their ears pierced, maybe I should do that with them as
yes,
well.
one for each year
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
one for each daughter.
Why not?
Yes.
Life है daughters के लिए यार.
Yeah,
But
then-
thank you so much. You know, you took me down the memory lane. You educated me. You guided me. You also spoke about giving back, which is, you know, like I keep saying, social media, you get so much of information, you're completely lost. But what matters is authenticity, legacy, heart, values, and bringing joy to our loved ones.
Yes.
And natural diamonds really do that, because when you think about those moments, you get teary-eyed,
Yes.
and that's going to live on forever, right?
That's true. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Likewise. And yes, what is that? Apna wo
Bestie bracelet.
bestie bracelet, you know. Bye.